Hi everyone, welcome back for another QBO tip. Last week we walked through customer types and some of the reporting you can do once that is set up. This week we are automating price rules and showing you how to incorporate those customer types from last week. Price rules are very handy if you're running sales or promotions. With the holidays right around the corner, you can implement staggered discounts to reflect the various sales that you may have going on. All you do is set up some basic logic and QBO will apply it for you. And before we jump into the demo company, you'll need QBO Plus for this feature. And as always, I will be using the accountant view to navigate. Okay, let's go. All right, we are back in good old Craig's Design and Landscape. And the first thing we need to do is make sure that our price rules are actually on. To do this, we go out to the gear icon and your account and settings. Give it a second to load up here. And we go to sales, and there's a products and services section under sales. And we can see turn on price rules beta. So we just flip that on. Save, out of here. Now our price rules are on. To access the price rules, they are again under the all lists. So we go to the gear icon for the settings, under the lists column, all lists, and you'll notice that the price rules here are a subcategory under products and services. So let's go into that, and it prompts us to create a rule right away. If not, you'd have a list, and we'll see that later. So we'll create a rule. With Black Friday kind of around the corner, it makes sense to make a Black Friday discount for Black Friday weekend. So let's make a Black Friday discount. All right, we give it a name, and then we get to choose which customers it goes to. So there's this handy little drop down, and it defaults to all. You can select individual customers if you have some promo doing that, or these two are our customer types that are set up. So we'll just leave it at all customers. Similarly, products and services, you can do all by default, or certain types of products and services, you can select them individually, or you can go down to the categories there as well. So kind of flexible there for you. And our price adjustment is going to be either a percentage, a fixed amount, or a custom price per item. I will note that on the fixed amount, if you have, say, a $25 discount and the item is less than $25, it won't apply the rule because it won't let you go negative. They're just basic rules, so there are limitations. Now, we can decrease the price, which is probably the most common, but there is also an increase options. So use that how you will. Now, I'm going to have a 30% discount for my Black Friday, and there is a rounding option. Now, the rounding is pretty interesting here. You have kind of the typical, like, ending in even, by fives or tens. You also have all of your nines and a couple of eights for kind of that typical retail pricing. So if you want to stick to that, even with your sale price, you're able to do that, which is interesting. I will do my date, and it will start on Black Friday, and I'll be nice and go the 29th. And I'm going to hit apply rule here. Now that I've applied the rule, you might have noticed that design here went from $75 to $52.50 in my adjusted price column. So this tab here will show you what the adjusted prices of your items are. And note that the ones that don't have a default sales price don't have a default price. So again, a limitation of the price rule is that if there isn't a default price set, the price rule can't really apply because it doesn't know what to apply to. Again, basic rules, there are limitations to the basic logic. If we go to the other tab next to products and services, you'll see your customers. So this is going to basically show you all the customers that it's going to apply to. Once you have everything looks good, you can save and close. Now I have my Black Friday discount, tells you how much, when it runs, and under actions over here, I can edit this rule, or I can click the chevron and inactivate it if it's no longer a thing. So let's create an invoice. And we'll do it for Amy. Amy's first on the list always gets picked on. So I'll go, she came on Black Friday and she got some design work. And we can see that our rate isn't $75. It's the discounted rate of $52.50. So that's exactly what we want it to do. So I'll save and close there. So that's basically how you use the price rules. Now I'm going to go back in, and what if we just wanted to make one for a business discount using our customer types that we set up last week? Well, let's set up a business discount. So under the customer here, I would just select businesses. So if you noticed, my customers down here went from 29 to 21, and now all my types just show business. Again, this is going to show me all of the customers that this is going to apply to, and I've it filtered to just do this one specific customer type. And again, you have all the other options available now. You can still specify which products and services. You can do a percentage, fixed amount, custom price. You can increase their prices if you have a pain in the butt client type. Charge them an extra $50, whatever you want to do. That's your business, your pricing. And you can also have dates for them as well. So you can have special sales or specials for them that run throughout the year, and you can specify when those begin and end in these rules. So we'll just say our fixed amount is they get a $25 discount. So that's how you would use your customer types in addition to your price rules in order to customize your prices that automatically flow to your members, customer types, whatever, what have you. As you can see, price rules are super handy, and even though they have basic logic to them, they are quite flexible, and you can get pretty creative with them if you wish. I would encourage you to play around and see what makes sense for your business. And for those of you with memberships, this can be extremely handy in making sure that the members get their discounted member pricing. If you have any comments or questions, please post below. I hope this has helped you guys out. Thanks so much for watching.